Imagine stepping into a room that's absolutely electric with anticipation. The air is thick with excitement, and you can feel the collective energy of hundreds of young minds, all gathered for a single purpose. The buzz of conversation, the laughter, and the sense of something big about to happen, it's almost tangible. This isn't just any gathering, it's a convergence of passion, ideas, and ambition, all under one roof. This is the Turning Point Student Action Summit, a place where future leaders and changemakers come together to be inspired, to learn, and to make their voices heard. The venue is alive with movement, students from across the country, all eager to be part of something bigger than themselves. Suddenly, Pete Hegseth takes the stage. But instead of launching into a standard keynote, he does something unexpected. He transforms before the audience's eyes, channeling the unmistakable persona of Donald Trump. The voice, the mannerisms, the signature hand gestures, it's all there, delivered with uncanny accuracy and a playful sense of showmanship. The reaction is immediate and electric. The crowd bursts into laughter, cheers, and applause, swept up in the moment. Students are on their feet, some wiping away tears of laughter, others recording the moment on their phones. The energy in the room skyrockets as Hegseth's impression brings everyone together in a shared experience of joy and surprise. But Hegseth's performance isn't just about getting laughs. He uses the impression as a springboard to share a powerful story about leadership and authenticity. He offers the audience a rare glimpse behind the political curtain, revealing the human side of public figures and the importance of staying true to one's values, even in the spotlight. The moment doesn't stay confined to the four walls of the summit. Clips of Hegseth's impression spread like wildfire across social media, quickly going viral. People everywhere are talking about how humor and authenticity can cut through the noise, forging genuine connections that resonate far beyond the event itself. In that unforgettable instant, Pete Hegseth isn't just another speaker on a crowded stage, he becomes the star of the show. His performance is a masterclass in public speaking, blending entertainment, insight, and inspiration in a way that leaves a lasting impression on everyone lucky enough to witness it. Hegseth's Trump impression had a purpose: to deliver a message about leadership and the warrior ethos. He used humor to highlight the need for toughness, discipline, and accountability in the military. Instead of a dry lecture, he made his point memorable and relatable for a young audience. The story called for a return to core military values: readiness, focus, and responsibility at every level. By channeling Trump, Hegseth aligned himself with a vision of a stronger, more effective military. Humor became his tool to make a serious message stick. The result? A powerful, entertaining call for excellence. The origins of Hegseth's story can be traced back to a striking real-life event, an ambitious and expensive military parade, organized with the intention of showcasing American strength and unity. This parade was not just any event, it was meant to be a grand spectacle, held in honor of President Trump's birthday, and designed to send a powerful message both to the American public and to the world. The hope was to display the might, discipline, and unwavering resolve of the United States military, with every detail meticulously planned to impress. However, the reality of the parade diverged sharply from the vision. Instead of a rigid, intimidating show of force, the soldiers who marched that day appeared relaxed and approachable. Many smiled and waved at the sparse crowds, engaging with onlookers in a friendly, almost casual manner. This was a far cry from the stern, disciplined image that Trump had hoped to project. The president, watching the event unfold, was visibly disappointed. He had imagined a display of military power that would command respect and awe, but what he saw instead felt informal and lacked the gravitas he desired. The parade, which had been intended as a bold statement of American military prowess, ultimately fell short of expectations. The turnout was underwhelming, with empty bleachers and a lack of enthusiastic spectators. Officials and organizers could sense the disappointment in the air, as the event failed to generate the excitement and pride that had been anticipated. For Trump, this was not just a missed opportunity, it became a source of personal frustration and a symbol of something deeper he felt was missing in the country's military culture. Trump had envisioned a spectacle reminiscent of the grand military parades seen in other countries, events where tanks roll down the streets, soldiers march in perfect unison, and the sheer scale and precision of the display is meant to intimidate and inspire. In places like Russia, China, and North Korea, such parades are carefully choreographed to project strength and unity, leaving no room for casualness or error. This was the kind of powerful, awe-inspiring event Trump wanted to replicate on American soil. Instead, what unfolded felt more like a small-town celebration than a demonstration of national power. The atmosphere was festive and relaxed, with soldiers interacting warmly with the crowd. The intended message of discipline and might was lost, replaced by a sense of community and approachability. While this may have resonated with some, it was not the image of military strength that had been promised or expected. Pete Hegseth, observing this disconnect, saw an opportunity. He tapped into the disappointment and frustration that followed the parade, using it as a powerful example in his own message about the state of military culture in America. Hegseth argued that the parade's failure was symptomatic of a broader issue, a loss of the traditional warrior ethos that once defined the armed forces. In Hegseth's telling, the underwhelming parade became more than just a failed event. It served as a backdrop for a larger call to action. He used it to highlight the need to restore a sense of discipline, unity, and warrior spirit within the military, urging a return to the values that he believed had made the American armed forces great in the past. The parade's problems didn't end with the soldiers' demeanor. What was supposed to be a proud display of unity and strength quickly began to unravel. As the soldiers marched, their faces told a different story. One of discomfort, uncertainty, and perhaps even reluctance. The energy that usually electrifies such events was noticeably absent, replaced by a sense of going through the motions. Attendance was dismal, with empty bleachers and sparse crowds stretching along the parade route. The grandstands, built to hold thousands of enthusiastic supporters, sat mostly vacant. The few who did show up seemed more curious than celebratory, and the lack of applause echoed the event's lackluster spirit. Meanwhile, outside the parade, nationwide protests against Trump overshadowed the event. Protesters lined the streets, their voices and signs making it clear that not everyone supported the spectacle. Their presence was impossible to ignore, and their message resonated far beyond the parade's boundaries. The media, caught between covering the parade and the protests, split their attention. News outlets broadcast images of both, highlighting the deep political divisions that had come to define the moment. Commentators debated the parade's purpose, questioning whether it was truly about honoring the military or something else entirely. What was meant to unite and honor the military became mired in controversy. Instead of bringing people together, the event seemed to drive them further apart. Protest banners waved alongside military flags, and the crowd's reactions ranged from indifference to open disapproval. The parade was increasingly seen as a political spectacle, with commentators on every network dissecting its motives. Was it a genuine tribute to the armed forces, or a display of personal power? The debate raged on, overshadowing any intended message of unity. The timing and optics turned people off. Many attendees left early, their faces reflecting disappointment or even frustration. The event failed to capture the public's imagination, and the sense of celebration that organizers had hoped for never materialized. Instead, the spotlight shifted to Trump himself. Cameras lingered on his reactions, and the audience's attention followed suit. The parade, intended to honor the troops, felt more like a showcase for one individual, leaving many to question its true purpose. Ultimately, the event was remembered for its empty seats and the controversy that surrounded it. Headlines the next day focused not on the military, but on the spectacle's failure to connect with the public. For the veterans and soldiers who participated, the experience was bittersweet. They stood in formation, hoping to be honored, but instead found themselves at the center of a divisive moment with little public engagement. Even the grandest plans can flop if they miss the public mood. Organizers, who had envisioned a triumphant celebration, were left to reflect on what went wrong. The disconnect between intention and reality was stark. In the end, the parade became a symbol of disappointment, a cautionary tale about the risks of using public events for political gain, and a reminder that true unity cannot be manufactured on command. Online, the parade's biggest embarrassment was the soldiers' sloppy marching, out of sync, crooked lines, and viral videos. Instead of military precision, the world saw disorganization, fueling criticism and jokes. Some speculated the poor performance was a quiet protest. Others blamed low morale or poor training. The viral clips overshadowed the entire event, becoming its defining image. Millions spent, but what stuck was a few seconds of bad marching. Details matter, especially when the world is watching. The parade's failure was cemented by a single viral moment. Critics blamed the soldiers, but some, like Army veteran Charlotte Clymer, saw low morale as the real issue. For many troops, the parade felt like a pointless political exercise, pulling them from real duties. Being used as props for a spectacle drained motivation and enthusiasm. The uninspired marching wasn't protest but the natural result of feeling undervalued. True respect for the military means valuing their time and purpose, not just using them for show. The viral video revealed deeper problems with leadership and morale. Behind the uniforms are real people, not just photo ops. Hegseth's viral impression proved that leadership is about more than orders, it's about human connection. Humor and authenticity broke down barriers, making him relatable and memorable. In high-pressure roles, showing personality can build trust and loyalty. The students' reaction showed they valued this genuine approach over standard speeches. The parade's failure was a top-down spectacle that missed its audience. Hegseth's moment was small, personal, and real, and it resonated far beyond the summit. The lesson: leadership is about people, connection, and authenticity. Sometimes a laugh does more than a lecture ever could.